Hello there, you are welcome to my channel. In today's lesson, I would like us to take a look at the WASSCE 2024 History Paper 1 Objective Test. And we have already done a video on the Paper 2. So in case you have not watched that video, you can check that up in our playlist, WASSCE History Questions. In our playlist, it will be there. So this is, you write your name, your index numbers. Before we even begin, I would like to remind you to subscribe to our channel if you have not done so. And if you have done so, we thank you very much for your support. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll read the objective questions to you. Then you answer them on your sheet. And then after answering all the 50 or reading all the 50 objective questions, the answers will come. And then you can mark it on your own. All right. Do not forget to share your marks on the questions once you are done in the comment section. Good. So let's begin with the questions. So let's start. Answer all questions. Each question followed by 4 options. Letter A to D. Blah blah blah. So let's begin with question number 1. Number 1, in which of the following plantations in the New World were the West African slaves working? 2, the growth of the trans-Saharan trade was largely due to. 3, in order to avoid conflicts in the scramble for West African territories, the European powers at the Berlin Conference adopted the policy of. 4, the territory colonized by Germany in West Africa was. 5, which of the following factors did not support the suppression of the transatlantic slave trade? 6, rituals and festivals form part of a source of history called. 7, from the beginning of the 1900 AD, the following West African countries lost their sovereignty except. 8, Portugal had the lead in the exploration of West Africa because of her. 9, one main advantage of military rule in West Africa was that it expedited the. 10, all the following were effects of Islam in West Africa except. 11, Togo stood out in West Africa for being the nation where. 12, during the trans-Saharan trade, the Mediterranean world needed more of. 13, the New World Order, by which European nations continued to indirectly control the affairs of independent West African states, is known as. 14, a factor that did not help in the spread of Islam in West Africa was. 15, which of the following West African state was not a member of the Commonwealth of Nations? 16, the group of people hired to serve as guides to the trans-Saharan traders from the Western Sudan was the. 17, an overwhelming number of West Africans resisted the partitioning of their territories through. 18, which of the following was an economic impact of the spread of Islam in West Africa? 19. The indirect rule policy permitted the use of all the following means to succeed in West Africa except (20) The scramble for West Africa was a response to appeals made by the 21. The camel was used during the trans-Saharan trade because it 22. All the following contributed to the failure of West African leaders except Number 23. In spreading the Christian faith in West Africa, the early missionaries used the local school teachers as catechists mainly because Number 24. The most important reason for the European colonization of West Africa was to Number 25. Which of these statements was not true about Christian missionaries in West Africa? Number 26. Britain was able to acquire colonies in West Africa mainly through the Number 27. The acquisition of more colonies in West Africa by the Europeans increased their Number 28. The following are advantages derived from the study of history except Number 29. Which of the following was not an effect of the coming of the Europeans to West Africa? The Christian missionaries performed all the following in West Africa except Number 31. A major economic problem encountered by independent West African states was Number 32. A negative economic effect of the European activities on West Africa was the Number 33. An animal product sold during the trans-Saharan trade was Number 34. Which of the following is not a documentary source of history? Number 35. Many West African countries benefited from the United Nations Organization, UNO or UN, through the promotion of Number 36. In trying to reconstruct the history of the past societies, archaeologists deal mainly with Number 37. The final stage of the triangular slave trade was the voyage from the New World to Number 38. The spread of Islam in West Africa was started by the Number 39. A non-peaceful means through which Islam was spread in West Africa was Number 40. The political reason for the coming of the Europeans to West Africa was to Number 41. The goods sold to the West Africans by the early Europeans included all the following except Number 42. The colonial economy was strengthened in West Africa mainly through the Number 43. The main purpose of forming the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, was to Number 44. The military in West Africa gave all the following as reasons for toppling civilian governments, except Number 45. Which of the following reasons promoted the race for colonies in West Africa to Number 46. An economic effect of the transatlantic slave trade on West Africa was the Number 47. All the following items were brought to West Africa by the Europeans to exchange for slaves, except Number 48. The factor that initially affected the work of the Christian missionaries was Number 49. The Christian missionaries promoted agricultural activities in some West African states in all the following ways, except And then the last one. Independent African states formed the Organizations of African Unity, OAU, mainly to end the So let's take a look at the answers.